100% of men are refusing to date and marry women. No, you did not hear me misspeak. No, this is not clickbait. 100% of men are refusing to date and marry women. Women said that, guys, we don't want you, we want the beer. So now they have to go hang out with Yogi and Boo Boo and see how that works out for them. Today's video comes from the China Unvarnished channel. It will be linked in the description of the video so that you can go check it out and support them. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand the implications of 100% of men rejecting women in society and how this will drastically affect women going into the future. Before we begin, guys, don't forget to check us out on Rumble. You never really know what can happen on this platform. So go and check us out on Rumble and subscribe to us on Rumble. It's linked in the description of the video. Also, don't forget to check out Angry's Crypto Academy. Hard times are coming. ATMs will stop working. Banks will chain their doors. Protect your wealth and safeguard your future with crypto. Angry's Crypto Academy will teach you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. We'll tell you exactly which coins will mint you millionaires and how to spot potential coins to invest in. Don't miss out. And if you want to begin making some passive income and safeguarding your future, don't forget to check out our blueprint, which we call the Crypto Trading Blueprint for Dummies, which is also now available in the Academy. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100 or even hundreds daily trading small amounts, working for just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in description to check it out now. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
相亲大会，800个女生，0个男生。
Recently, a highly anticipated matchmaking event was held in Wuhan, and the scene was breathtaking, but the outcome was extremely disappointing. The event attracted about 800 women, and shockingly, not a single man showed up. Despite being held in a luxurious hotel, with an exquisitely decorated venue, and even offering attractive gifts to attendees, the entry fee alone was 3,800 yuan. However, for these women attending the event, none of these carefully arranged details seemed to achieve the expected results. Each woman dressed to impress, trying to present her best self. They wore high-end clothes, had meticulous makeup, and were ready to meet a potential rich and handsome man. However, after the event started, all they were met with was an empty venue, with no men in sight. The women attending the event mostly had very high expectations and standards. For example, a 35-year-old woman working in finance, earning 6,000 yuan a month, hoped to find a man earning 1,000,000 yuan annually, owning a luxury car and a villa. A 36-year-old female English teacher sought a partner from Tsinghua or Peking University, with a height of 1.8 meters and a distinguished academic background. And a 38-year-old female entrepreneur expected to find a man earning 600,000 yuan a year, who was caring and romantic, responsible for household expenses, and would take her on at least 3 vacations a year. Their requirements were not only high but almost unreasonable. They presented themselves as expensive commodities, as if attending an auction rather than seeking true love. They hoped to exchange external appearances and money for a bond of the heart, yet failed to recognize that marriage is not a transaction, and love is not a business deal. In this materialistic society, perhaps money can buy a car, a house, or even an illusory sense of happiness, but it cannot buy true affection. These women viewed marriage as a game to gain material benefits, believing that showcasing their external conditions would easily lead them to find the ideal man. However, they ignored the most important thing in marriage: emotional connection, mutual understanding, and support. The 3,800 yuan entry fee seemed more like the price they paid for their fantasies of a rich, handsome man. This high-end matchmaking event in Wuhan was less about finding a life partner and more about a collective display of these women's achievements. They showed off their excellence, yet forgot that true excellence is not only about material conditions but also about inner qualities. These women seemed to live in their own fantasies. They might see themselves as noble swans, but they forgot that no man would be willing to pay for a woman who only values material things. Their conditions and expectations caused the men to flee. In the end, the matchmaking event was left with nothing but disappointment and emptiness. This failure exposed not only the huge disparity in the standards men and women have for choosing a partner, but also revealed the distortion of certain values in modern society. In this matchmaking event, the true meaning of love and marriage seemed to be overshadowed by these overly materialistic conditions and expectations.
资本捧杀女性的恶果正在搬上舞台。
The capital's manipulation and exploitation of women has become increasingly apparent in recent years, and it is now reaching its extreme. Recently, at a matchmaking event held in Wuhan, a 30-year-old professional dancer, whose weight was not disclosed, attracted widespread attention. She boldly declared on stage that her ideal partner must be a government employee with an annual salary of 200,000 yuan, or a non-government employee with an annual income of 300,000 yuan, and must be at least 1.8 meters tall. These standards, no matter how you look at them, seem less like criteria for a marriage match and more like a wish list. In response, the matchmaker hurriedly stated that someone earning 300,000 yuan a year would probably not choose to attend a matchmaking event. This remark sparked many online comments, with some joking that someone as beautiful as her should at least be looking for a man with a yearly salary of 1.8 million yuan. This statement, somewhat sarcastic in nature, clearly indicates that her demands are absurd and unrealistic, even to the point of being detached from reality. Following this, someone raised the question, do these women really not realize how unrealistic these standards are? This question has prompted a lot of reflection. In today's discussion, we won't approach this from the perspective of gender opposition but from the standpoint of capital and the market. Back in the 1980s, American capitalists faced a major issue: the consumption willingness of ordinary people had decreased. People no longer wanted to spend money as they did before and instead preferred to save. This posed a huge challenge for capitalists, as if people did not consume, how could capitalists make money? Thus, they devised a clever solution: change people's mindsets to encourage consumption. The media and television in the United States began heavily promoting consumerism, especially targeting women. For example, they spread messages like women should buy designer bags to invest in themselves, or there's no ugly woman, only women who don't know how to apply makeup. The essence of these promotions was to flatter and kill women, subtly guiding them to consume, thereby generating more profits for capital. This promotion of consumerism didn't just work in the US, it was replicated and upgraded in China. Through the creation of holidays and specific occasions, such as White Day, Goddess Day, and 520, these days are not just simple celebrations. The core purpose behind them is to stimulate female consumption and further help capital gain profit. When women buy more products, capital receives more funds, which in turn allows for more media and advertising promotions, thus forming a perfect closed loop. What has made this process successful in China is its unique market environment. Taking marriage as an example, the supply-demand relationship between men and women directly determines who holds the initiative in the market. The number of men in China exceeds the number of women by about 30 million, which fundamentally means that many men must work hard to please women in order to have the right to choose a partner. Meanwhile, under the influence of capital's manipulation, women have grown increasingly confident. Some even believe they are very attractive and that there are always plenty of suitors, and they can always find a better partner. However, they often fail to realize that their sense of superiority is the result of capital's manipulation. Now, China's population of older single women has surpassed 100 million, while the number of leftover men is far fewer. The failure of the matchmaking event in Wuhan reveals the negative consequences of capital's manipulation of women and lifts the veil on this reality. Finally, what I want to say is that the ongoing discussion of these bizarre matchmaking phenomena is, in fact, a sign of awakening among single young people. More and more people are beginning to realize the harm caused by capital's manipulation, and they will gradually come to understand what they truly need, leading them to a more grounded and meaningful life.
To be very clear with you, most women will never come back to earth. The best they will do is say that our emotions betrayed us, or that society betrayed us, and continue living in their own delusion. You see, Chris Rock talked about this a very long time ago. He said that women cannot go backwards. In fact, before Chris Rock talked about it, Eddie Murphy talked about it in the 80s. Chris Rock talked about it in the 2000s. He said women cannot go backwards. Can't do it, won't do it. Once a woman becomes acquainted to living a certain way, She can never go back to her normal life. She can't go back from living in a mansion to a two-family house. She can't go back from living in a two-family house to a single-family house. She can't go back from living in a single-family house to an apartment. She can't go back from living in an apartment to a bedroom. This is how modern women operate. Okay? She can't go back from living in an apartment to living in her car. She can't go back from living in her car to living in a shelter. She can't go back from living in a shelter to living on the street. She can't go back from living on the street to living in the woods. She can't go back from just living in the woods to living in the woods with the bear, which is what she said she wanted in the first place. You see, guys, it's just this is the do you notice the pattern? This is where women will be going. I said this already that God allowed them to reach the highest mountain so that they could fall from the highest peak. They think that they are wonderful. They think that they are perfect. They think they are beautiful. They think they are special. You know, previously, a woman who was overweight or a woman who was less physically attractive had to develop her personality to attract a suitable mate. But because of simps, low value men, modern women now believe, every woman now believes that they are 10. And this actually works again against a lot of women and actually creates a lot of disparities for women. You're going to say, well, how does it work against any woman? Well, for example, you have a lot of women today who are extraordinarily overweight. They no longer believe that they are overweight. In fact, they have now pushed and petitioned society to to adhere to the notion that there's no such thing as obesity, but but more so, it depends on your quality of life at that weight. So if you're a woman and you're 300 pounds, but you say that you're having a very good quality of life at 300 pounds and you don't have diabetes or heart disease or any of these health conditions, then technically speaking, you shouldn't actually worry about it because you may be 300 pounds, but you don't have any serious health conditions. You don't, you're extremely happy and confident in your own skin, and so there's no reason to change that. Now, any idiot can say, even if you don't have high blood pressure yet, hypertension, even if you don't have cardiovascular disease, even if you are not diabetic yet, you're getting there. Okay? Many of these conditions are preventable. Most women today will never be able to go back unless they can get on Ozempic or Manjaro or Zepbound or something else. Those are basically the drugs now that people are using, the injections that help them to lose weight rapidly. And even it doesn't work for everyone. Just let me tell you that it does not work for everyone unless they can get onto these drugs and maybe that it can change something in their lives. It's not going to happen for them. And many of these women are going to continue gaining significant amounts of weight. If you guys did not hear about this, actually a couple of months ago, back in 2024, a bunch of what we call them fat influencers. So basically, you have a bunch of influencers that were on YouTube, social media influencers that were extremely overweight, and basically promote like healthy obesity. In fact, some of them said straight up that they are not obese, and this is just that there's no such thing as obesity. A lot of them began to pass away. Many of the fat influencers, that's what they were called, they passed away in 2024. They just kept falling like dominoes. And you can clearly see that because of what society has become, because women are told now that they're perfect and special and they can do anything that they want to do, and they don't have to change in any way whatsoever. You have the vast majority of these individuals, are now narcissists in society. And when you look at the individuals who are overweight, they believe not only do they have narcissistic personalities and narcissistic behaviors, but to make it even worse, they believe that they're tens and that being overweight is okay. So now they're engaged in unhealthy health practices that is resulting in their control alt deletion from this region, and they're being banished to the shadow realm. And at the same time, the Sims are like, you go girl, you go girl. It was, you lived your life and you got to enjoy your life to the fullest, and that's it. All right. The Haagen-Dazs was worth it. Sims are devils. Sims are dangerous. These are despicable little creeps. All right. And I've warned you about Sims before, and people do not truly understand how wicked and evil a simp is. Someone said in the comments, don't talk about them. Don't call them people, because they are not people. All right. We were all once simps, but there are a specific group of men who have chosen to continue down this road because of the incentives and the gains that they receive from doing this. Guys, these men will say that they did not betray men because they were never on our side. Your best focus right now is to be focusing on your money, focus on your wealth, focus on your relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. You should not be focused on a woman, okay? Because women come and go. So many men have lost money chasing women, but no man has lost lost women chasing money. Does not happen. Your focus should be on getting your money and building yourself up and creating a future for yourself, because extremely hard times are coming. One of the best ways you can do that is with crypto. I ask you something. When the banks collapse, and trust me, it's coming, will you be ready? Imagine waking up to ATMs that don't work, bank doors chained shut, and millions of people left with nothing. No cash, no access to their savings, and no way to survive. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy, to teach you everything you need to know about crypto so you can protect yourself and your family. I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100, or even hundreds daily trading small amounts. Working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description to check it out now. So guys, you can check out Angry's Crypto Academy. You can learn how to day trade cryptocurrency. You can make easily $100 a day trading $500 or $100 a day, or about $30 a day trading $100. And you can do that every single day. So you trade $100 a day, you can make $30 a day working about an hour a day, and you can pull in about $900 a month, or you can trade around $500 a day, and you can pull it and you would make realistically $100 to $200 a day. That's realistic earnings. And you can pull in roughly around $3,000 to $6,000 a month. And if you're at the higher end, that works out to about $72,000 a year. It's an important skill set to learn so that you can always feel safe in your body. Safe. We actually help you acquire a ton of different tools. There's a bunch of tools. We provide those tools to you so that you understand, you'll know what they are, and you can begin using them right away to start making profit. And I'm not going to promise you $1,000 a day. I'm telling you, you can take $500 a day and make $100, $200 a day. Spend an hour doing that. Or you can take $100 a day and make $30 a day, working only 1 hour a day. You can do that on your lunch break. You do that whenever. For those of you that are doing Amazon delivery, it's a much better option than having to be out there and all this other nonsense. Or it's great. It's a great passive income source, and it's something that many of you can do and set up and basically even leave on autopilot once you get good enough at it. So definitely go check that out. It's linked in the description of the video, because the main focus for most men right now should be getting your money and getting right with God. You should not be focused on women. You should not be focused on relationships. Should not be focused on dating. All right. You can see this here, guys. 800. Let me not stutter. 800 women showed up for this event. Almost 1,000 women, modern women, created a situation for themselves, and they don't have a way out. I'm telling you right now, they have no way out. There's no way they can get out of this situation, because they have basically put themselves in a situation where most men don't want to speak to them, don't want to have a relationship with them, don't want to have anything to do with the concept of marriage and dating. And these women are still saying that they deserve tens. I told you about this experience, about a video I saw years ago. I cannot find the video, unfortunately, and it was on YouTube. And there was a guy. He went into the sewers was like storm drains, and it was the sewers. And he was interviewing people who live down in the sewers. And he had to get permission to go down there because it could be the shirt on the stock market. I know what I'm worth. He's like, Susan, stop it, Susan. Stop it. You are living in the sewers right now. I know what I'm worth. And with tears streaming down her face. It took me time to really understand and to really comprehend how women think. And I realized that a woman will basically destroy almost everything in her life, even as long as it means that her emotions are taken care of. In other words, she will sacrifice everything because her emotions tell her to. And the only thing that she's loyal to are her emotions. Her emotions tell her that she deserves a 6'6" guy. So he's at least 6 feet tall. This is what's going on in China right now. He's at least 6 feet tall. He makes at least six figures, and he can give her at least 6 inches. And she will not compromise because that's what God wants for her. And she finds herself in an extraordinary state of poverty and destitution. And what does she do? Does she learn from it? Absolutely not, because she still believes that she is a 10 and that she deserves the world. The only way that you're going to be able to protect your wealth and safeguard your future is going to be with crypto. And in the Crypto Academy, we teach you how to buy, we teach you how to sell, we teach you how to trade, we teach you how to invest in crypto. And we'll tell you exactly what coins to invest in and which coins will mint new millionaires and how to spot potential coins to invest in. So I'm telling y'all, don't miss out on this chance. And again, the Academy is linked in the description of the video, but you shouldn't be playing games with your future. Okay? Don't play games the way women have played games with their future, because there are now extraordinary consequences that are going to arise as a result of all of this. And it's not going to be pretty.
已经发黄了，我不知道他已经挂了多长时间。
This girl's profile has started to yellow a bit. I'm not sure how long her profile has been up here, nor am I certain if she has already found a suitable match. This girl is from Shenzhen, 27 years old, 1.63 meters tall, has a bachelor's degree, and holds a senior management position. Her monthly income ranges from 20,000 to 50,000 yuan. She has already purchased a home, and she is looking forward to getting married. She describes herself as a more conservative person who wants to live a stable and grounded life. She doesn't have any particular hobbies and believes that as long as she can find the right person and be in a sincere relationship, that would be enough to make her happy. Under this girl's profile, others have asked me if I have any suitable matches or advice. I happen to know a man who fits her age range. He was born in 1993, which makes him a good match for her age. This man is a very honest and upright person, has never been married before, and has no prior marriage experience. While I was strolling around the park, an elderly lady approached me and asked me to help her son find a suitable match. Her son was born in 1974, and he's almost 51 years old now. He is still single. It seems that he has remained unmarried all this time due to issues with the bride price. Given his age, I think it may be difficult to help him find a suitable match. After all, the requirements of women nowadays are quite high.
甚至是很排斥、很讨厌相亲这项活动吗？
It's crazy, guys. Modern women are claiming that the bride price is an ancient tradition. Bro, they're like, oh, it's been around for 1,000 years. You broke boys don't want to step up. They introduced, guys, the bride price thing has become common over the last 20 years, not 1,000 years. And it's really taken off in the last 10 years. Also, in China, it is not uncommon for a woman's family to pay a dowry as well. Yes. So there was not always a tradition of a bride price. There was sometimes like a little money that the man would give to the parents' family, to the woman's family, to help them out. All right, like a small gift. Okay, it was not a form of extortion. It was a nice gesture, and it was a small amount of money. On the other hand, when it came to men, they had to pay that. Women had to pay that dowry. those families had to pay that dowry. Like we're talking about some big money. Like you need to bring a cow, a couple goats. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like you really need to really need to step your game up. Really need to step your game up. And now there was a big reversal because of The Sims in the last 10 years, where women are now asking for $1 million dowries, or saying that $100,000, 100,000. No, when I say 100, I mean 100,000. I didn't say 100,000 yuan. $100,000 dowry is not a lot of money. They want men who make $1 million a year in China. Want a dude who makes, who will pay at least a $100,000 dowry, or some women are willing to settle for maybe $20,000, and it's not negotiable. And it's like, bro, this is what men are supposed to. You're basically paying for your own encampment, paying for your own imprisonment in a relationship with someone who does not like you. And then when men walk away and they go somewhere else where they're appreciated and celebrated, these same women start saying that those women over there, they don't even want you, they don't love you, they're just using you. They're just using you. You demand a dowry of $100,000 in China, and you're going to turn around and tell me in the same breath that the women overseas are just using me. Yes, they are just using you because we actually love you. You just don't want to be a better man and step your game up so that you can be the man that we want to love. This is some guys, 6'6". He must be at least this tall. He must make at least this much money. He must be able to give her this many inches. All right. He better have the six pack. All right. The only men that they want right now are basically, I'll just put it like this. They want wealth. They want hung low. They want hung low. All right. That's really how it is. They want hung low. All right. Better be at least 6 feet tall. All right. Have a six pack, make above six figures, and can dish out 6 inches on demand. On demand. It's no wonder men are done with the relationships, done with the nonsense, done with the games, and instead choosing to focus on themselves and developing a relationship with themselves and a relationship with God. There's no man who should be putting up with this type of nonsense. There's no man that should be out there chasing after a relationship with a woman right now. There's no man that should be lowering themselves down to this or trying to meet the standards of someone who does not even like them. Guys, being single is freedom. An increasing number of men are waking up and realizing that when you stay single, your money is your money, period. You can buy whatever you want. You can enjoy whatever you want. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to ask anyone for permission. You don't have to basically, guys, I hear guys who can't buy video games for themselves. They're playing like freaking like demos or like this. It's like so sad. It is so sad. Like you're a grown man and there's a game that you want and you cannot buy it for yourself. I'll tell you something. Because I don't, here's the thing with me. I don't date. I don't really have relationships anymore. And I also don't order takeout anymore. So I completely stopped ordering takeout. As a result of no longer ordering takeout, no longer going on dates and having relationships, it's like you have an endless amount of money. I'm being serious. And as a result of that, I've been able to drastically lower my food bill. I've been able to drastically keep money for myself. So if there's something I want, I can basically buy it. If I want, the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out. It's probably going to be like $500 or close to $500. I thought it was going to be a bit less than that, but no, they're saying probably close to $500. I personally think it costs too much, but still going to buy one. Even if I don't play it a lot, I'm still going to buy one. There's a Legion Go S coming out very soon with the Steam OS version. I really want to get my hands on that. That's going to be $500. There's really no reason why I shouldn't be able to buy one. I'm going to buy one of those too. And and then there's another. And I wanted a rogue a Rogue G Ally. These are all handheld devices. So these are basically handheld gaming devices that you can play games on. And that's kind of, I wanted a Rogue G Ally X. However, I'm worried that a new version is going to come out this year, so I might wait a little bit. So I'll pick up a Nintendo Switch 2. I'll pick up the Legion Go S. I already have a Steam Deck. I already have a Nintendo Switch OLED. I already have a Nintendo Switch Lite. But I'm going to pick up these others, because yeah, I'm just trying to give you the example that I can get whatever I want. I can live the life I want. I just purchased a new gaming laptop. I like gaming laptops. Sue me. Some people don't like them. I like gaming laptops. I just picked up a new gaming laptop. I love the portability. I just picked it up a few months ago for Black Friday, and I can hook up to a solar panel in case anything goes down. I have about maybe 3 or 4 weeks worth of water stocked up, maybe more than that. Maybe almost a month worth of water. You know, I mean, I'm basically preparing for hard times, for power going out, and I have money on hand. I have crypto. I have my life put together. A lot of people don't have that. I can buy whatever game I want. There's no video game that I cannot buy for myself right now. There's no handheld device or gaming console or anything that I cannot buy for myself right now. I don't need permission from anyone, okay, to go out, to come and go. But most modern women, most modern men, to get into relationships, they cannot. They have to ask your wife for permission if they could leave the house. They have to ask your wife for permission if they can go and do something or buy something. It's so stupid. It is such a stupid thing. And you have guys who are trying to shame other men because they don't want to get into relationships. Because they choose to kind of distance themselves from friends and family. These are simps. You have to remember that the Sims don't like us. The Sims, they when I say Sims betrayed us, they respond and say, we didn't betray you because we were never on your side. Okay, these are a bunch of Judases. Except in the case of Judas, Judas betrayed Jesus. He pretended to be on Jesus' side when he wasn't. In the case of the simp, we just assumed that they were on our side because they were men. They were never on our side. They were always people who despised us and didn't like us. They basically sold us out for privileges. All right, they sold us out for privileges. They sold us out so they could get access to women and to assets, to wealth. Okay, I mean, look at women basically operate as agents of the state, and as a result of that, they are rewarded by given special privileges, while men are given special punishments. They are rewarded by giving assets. They are rewarded by they're rewarded for what they've done, and that's how Sims operate as well. Sims basically, they do not like us, and for in exchange for betraying us, like I said, they were never really on our side. They are rewarded with access to women, access to opportunities, access to art, and access to assets that the average man does not get. If you think I'm joking, look at the companies today where DEI has taken over all of these ESG companies, and who are the people who still work at these jobs? A bunch of Sims. It's a bunch of weak beta male Sims that are in agreement with the garbage that's going on. And a lot of these guys, there are a lot of these guys who are trying to like pull the shades over our eyes. They don't want us to see what's going on. There's a game coming out recent. Game coming out soon called Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The first Kingdom Come it took place in a setting, in like an old English setting, where there was the main character. There's only white people. There's the main character is a white guy, a heterosexual white guy, and the kingdom comes from Christianity. I learned all of these things, and this is basically a heterosexual white guy, and blah blah blah, and there are no black people there because it takes place in, like, I don't know if it's like the 14th century. And now the second game is coming out, and they've decided to turn the character into a bisexual male. Even though in the first game He is referred to as a straight character. They developers say that he is a straight character. Now they basically flip the script on us. And why did they do that? For ESG. They sold the studio to another company. They stole the studio to a bigger company. They made their money, and now they're still developing the next game, but they sold out. And they're pushing political narratives because they do not like us as men, and they're trying to convince us to go down this route. Like they're like basically you can 1 minute you can say that you're straight, and the next minute you can basically change it up. Like when I was growing up, guys, they used to tell us that like it was not a choice. You didn't get to choose if you were a heterosexual person or if you were a person who was different. And you understand what I mean by different. Now they tell you that it's a choice. They tell you that you can choose your gender. You can choose everything. You can choose whatever you like. How does that song go? It's whatever you like. Yeah, no. I mean, we are 100% living in the era of mental illness. It is absolutely the era of mental illness, and it 100% has to stop, because this is a sick reality and a sick society that we have been tossed into, and we have to stand up to it, and we have to learn to say no. We absolutely do. I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100, or even hundreds daily trading small amounts. Working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description to check it out now.
Ever wondered why more and more men are losing interest in arranged marriage activities, or even refusing to participate? Some even develop strong aversion and disgust toward matchmaking. The fundamental reason is that the success rate of arranged marriages is just too low. For men, participating in various matchmaking activities is almost like paying for trouble. It's simply a waste of time and money. So, why does this happen? Ultimately, it's because men and women have very different understandings of what matchmaking is. For men, arranged marriage is just a simple you look at me, I look at you process. If you don't like me, or I'm not interested in you, we simply part ways. But if I feel a bit of attraction toward you and you seem okay, we can start to connect and get to know each other. This process is very direct, simple, and doesn't carry too much burden. However, for women, the understanding of arranged marriage is completely different. They usually view matchmaking from the perspective of the employer conducting a job interview. When it comes to choosing a spouse, women tend to see themselves as the recruiter, while men are the job seekers. If the woman feels the man isn't suitable, she'll end it right there without hesitation. If she thinks he's good enough, she might give him a chance to pursue her. Doesn't this seem ridiculous? How can this possibly be a mutual interaction? Men choose arranged marriage because they are typically not good at or not willing to actively pursue women in real life. Otherwise, they wouldn't be resorting to matchmaking in the first place. Similarly, for those particularly beautiful or high-status women, they generally don't lack admirers in real life and therefore don't need to rely on arranged marriage to find a partner. Since both sides have come to the point of matchmaking, why not be more straightforward? Why should men always be expected to pursue women? Actually, it's like going to a restaurant. We go to a restaurant for convenience and to save time. When we get there, the chef cooks the meal, the waiter serves the dishes, and we just sit down and eat. But if we had to cook the meal ourselves, serve the dishes, and wash the dishes after, wouldn't it be better to just cook at home? It would be much more convenient, right? The same goes for arranged marriage. Men choose it for convenience, to save time, and to improve efficiency. But women expect men to actively pursue them, which completely contradicts the original purpose of matchmaking. If men really wanted to pursue women, they could take the initiative in real life. So why choose matchmaking? If women don't change this mindset,
they may face an awkward situation where no man wants to participate in arranged marriage with them in the future. Therefore, if women don't adjust their attitude, they might end up with no opportunities for matchmaking at all.
为什么现在很多男孩子他找不到对象？
Why is it that many young men nowadays can't find a partner? Why do many young men feel no happiness in marriage, or even begin to fear it, leading to what is known as marriage phobia? They no longer believe in marriage. Why is this happening? Moreover, the divorce rate is soaring, even reaching 50 to 60%, and in some places, it has even gone as high as 70%. At the same time, more and more women in society are engaging in behaviors such as fraudulently obtaining bride price and money. Faced with this situation, many young men have become particularly cautious. It's difficult for them to find women who can lead a stable life in their local area. First, many young men have a small social circle.
What did I tell you? Many of you don't want to listen to me. The bride price is not, it does not really exist. It's something that they really made up in the last 20 years and really began to start pushing in the last 10 years. When it comes to the bride price, it was not a guaranteed thing. And sometimes if you had a man of means, he would give a small gift to the woman's family, right? And as a gesture for taking care of their daughter, and now he has a beautiful wife, right? It was a nice gesture, but he was not paying a large amount of money and turning these people into millionaires. Guys, that is purchasing a person. Now modern women have even removed their families from the equation, and they are demanding that these men pay them to marry them. This is a scam. It's an absolute and utter scam. And don't be surprised if the Chinese government starts to crack down on the practice sooner than later and starts putting these women in prison for charging these exuberant bride prices, which are scams. China cannot support all of these single women. And many of them there are places where there are lots of homeless women, like young women who are living on the streets of China right now. They're both young men and young women doing it, but you have a lot of young women who are homeless living on the streets. And they're still out here doing this type of thing. What do you think is going to happen when the global economy melts down, guys? History repeats itself. Don't think that Mark Twain says history doesn't necessarily repeat, but history does rhyme. That's a nice way of saying history repeats itself. Just like there was an event that happened back in like 1918 or somewhere around 1920, and there was a thing that spread throughout the world. It's very similar to what happened in 2020, except there were some differences, if you get what I'm saying. But history tends to repeat itself. We had the Great Depression, contrary to many beliefs, actually started in 1929. And even before that, even before the Great Depression occurred, there were signs that that things were not going as well as they thought, that people were acting like they believed that things were better than they really were. We all consciously know that things are horrible right now, that the economy right now is terrible, that the numbers are that we're being lied to and told that we have a strong economy, and one of the best economy in the history of the United States. You have to be so evil. This is the reason why Trump got reelected, because no one trusts anyone anymore. No one trusts anyone anymore. No one trusts the state anymore. No one trusts the media anymore. Trump can basically, guys, no one cares anymore. All right? Because of what these people have done. And of course, the left is only doubling down on the garbage that they've been spouting. And it's like, for example, Elon was at Trump's rally parade, and he basically did a gesture where he was thanking everyone. And instead they took pictures and he tried to make it look like he was doing another type of salute when it was absolute garbage. And they just keep and that's all they have. That's their entire playbook, is to fabricate things and say that Trump is lying and say that everyone else is lying and make things up. And it's like, that's how pathetic they've gotten. On top of it, like they're falling apart. NBC, like everyone, like all of the bobbleheads at NBC are taking pay cuts right now. They've all had to take pay cuts. CNN is firing something like 500 employees. Like the mainstream media on the left is melting down because the mainstream media is basically all leftists. So the mainstream media is completely melting down right now. And the Democratic Party is completely melting down right now. And even then, they can't stop. The only thing that will stop these people is when they are placed into prison, when they are slapped with very large fines, when when they are separated from their kids, and they understand that this is the life they're going to live right now. If you look at what they did to so many people, and Trump basically just freed 500, like 1,500 hostages, if you know who I'm referring to. And now it's going to be about retribution. And that's what he said. He said he's going to get retribution, and he's not playing games. He's not playing games at all. Notice that thing that was happening overseas, that is over right now. When it came to, we saw what happened with Palestine. They released who they needed to release. We now have there's no more fighting over there. And they made sure to get that done before he was sworn in. He said that he 100% said, you need to end that. You better have that wrapped up and over before I get in. But guess what? We slap a 25% on we slap a 25% tariff on Mexico. That hurts their economy substantially. We don't need Mexico's products. We don't need anything from them. I lived over there, guys. I'm going to tell you something interesting. Mexico even imports things like meat. Like they import beef from the United States. They import beef from the United States. So they actually import a lot of food from the US. They import food, they import products, they import everything, and everything costs more over there. For example, if you want to buy a Nintendo Switch in Mexico, it can cost you $400 to buy a Nintendo Switch in Mexico versus $300 in the US. Because of how much things cost, because they do charge more over there. They slap a fee on our things, on the items that we sell over there. So basically, we're just returning the favor, and they can't live without. We can live without them. They can't live without us. To make matters even worse, for them, Trump is making it very clear that he's going to be taking some other drastic actions to stomp out, groups of people who may be contributing to serious disparities in the United States and bringing certain products that are not good for Americans into the United States. And he's looking to go to places in Mexico like Sinaloa and, basically rain down hell. It's not a game. It's not a game. We're heading into a very, very different reality, a very, very different world. One of the stupidest things many of you could be doing right now is sitting around and just saying that you don't care. All right? I keep on emphasizing to you, and I'm never going to stop emphasizing to you, is to learn day trading, learn crypto day trading. If you don't, guys, it's like a gift that's being given to you. And if you're so lazy that you can't even do something like that, you deserve to be in Tent City. You deserve your hardship. You deserve the pain. You deserve the suffering. You deserve Tent City. Because if you're too lazy to learn something like crypto day trading, where you spend an hour a day trading crypto and making enough money to live, pay your bills, and be comfortable, you belong in Tent City.
Very busy with work and don't have much time to meet women. Also, many young men have introverted personalities and lack good communication skills and emotional intelligence. They don't even know how to start a conversation. Therefore, even when they have the opportunity to meet women, they lack the ability to communicate and connect with them deeply. Nowadays, young women tend to prefer men who are articulate, emotionally intelligent, and good at communication and pleasing others.
Here's where things get interesting. The average man has to learn to develop excellent communication skills and and the ability to interpret what women are saying. Women don't. Think about it. Men have to do all the when men and women go out on dates, men have to do all the conversation. There's this perception that women are better communicators when the reality is that no, the entire weight is upon the man. When a woman is with her friend and she tells her that something is wrong, she tells her friend everything that is wrong. So it's not like her friend has to read her mind. No, what she does to the man is that she doesn't tell the man anything. She's passive aggressive and then punishes the man without him even knowing what he did wrong. And then later on, when, she realizes that the man didn't do anything wrong, she'll just say that she was crazy. But it's okay because he's a man, and men have to deal with it because that's how God made it. Guys, men, it's done. 100% of men are refusing to date and marry women. 100%. 100. Y'all happy now? Are y'all happy now? 100% of men just refused to date these women, to marry these women, to even have a conversation with them, to even show up. 100%. 800 women, not a single man. And that's not just happening in China, that's also happening in the US. There are many matchmaking events happening in the US right now, and you end up with, in one case, there was only like 2 men who showed up. In another case, no men showed up at all. A lot of these events that are happening around the world, matchmaking events, where you have dozens of women or hundreds of women, not a single man is showing up to these events. But this is one of the worst that we've heard about recently. Almost 1,000 single women were there, and not a single man showed up. Because men are realizing that they can just work, save their money, in some cases live off the interest, buy whatever they want, play their video games, and enjoy life. This is guys, a lot of us have worked so hard, especially going to college. Most of the boomers never went to college. They had good lives. Their lives were good overall. They like to take it for granted. For so many of us, though, we've been working for decades and we have nothing to show for it. We traded our lives in education, in the workforce, only to be given nothing and then bullied by the boomers, who are the wealthiest generation, who are the wealthiest group of men in the history of humanity, where you have to pay to collect rainwater. It is actually illegal to collect rainwater in the United States. And I'm sure it's like that in other countries as well. It's illegal to collect rainwater. It's illegal to use wind energy. So for example, if you want to build a windmill, you could go to prison for that. If you try to, rainwater is illegal. Harnessing wind energy is illegal. Yes, you heard me right. You have to have permits for all of these things. If you want to build something, if you want to build a house on your land, nope, that's illegal too. You have to get permits and permission to build on your land, to build on the land that you own. And by the way, you never ever truly own the land, because you have to keep on paying property taxes on that land indefinitely, or the land can and will be confiscated from you. And in many cases, even sometimes where people are on top of it and make sure to pay the bills, sometimes let's say there are errors, and for example, you're paying for your land, or you're paying for your property, you're paying for your house, and the money ends up, they make a mistake by this, the state makes a mistake and deposits the money that you're paying onto someone else's account, and then they confiscate your property. I'm telling you right now, this is how corrupt society is. It's going to be much more difficult for women than for men going forward. Because guys, a society without its men is not a society. A society without its men is a wasteland. And women are not going to be able to survive without men. Women are not going to be able to survive as more men walk away from dating, walk away from relationships, walk away from everything, and say, we don't want to have anything to do with these relationships anymore. We don't want to have anything to do with the way with society anymore, with the way modern women are treating us, with the way society is treating us. We're done with it. Look at these people, these only fools models who are who are overseas, like hooking up with like 1,000 guys in the same day. What do you think happens when a young man reads something like this? That a woman hooked up, like these women are hooking up with 1,000 men in the same day. This makes women look very bad. And then the same women, modern women, will start preaching on the internet like, oh, you guys just want debt-free virgins. And it's like because they live in their own delusion. And it's like, bro, y'all are hooking up with dozens of guys, if not hundreds of guys in a single day, while the average guy will never hook up with more than maybe a dozen women. The average woman is hooking up with at the very least dozens of men, if not hundreds of men, over the course of her life. 30 men are rookie numbers for a woman. Those are rookie numbers. Okay? 300 dudes is increasingly becoming nothing special for a woman. Like, oh, 300, you've been with 300 dudes, that's nothing, sweetie. All right? When you get to 3,000, then you can talk to me. Think about this carefully. These women that have been hooking up with 1,000 guys, with 1,000 men in a single day. If they hooked up with 1,000 men in a single day, how many men do you think they've been with in their entire lives? And some of these women are not even 30 years old yet. You've hooked up with thousands of men in your life, and you're not even 30 years old yet. And then young men are supposed to go and say, I want to go and fight and sacrifice for this? Come on.
Many young men are focused on their work, busy with their careers, have poor speaking skills, and lack emotional intelligence. They don't have time to talk to women and understand them. Additionally, many young men go to blind dates during holidays or work periods, but the blind date process often leaves them feeling defeated. Every time they go on a blind date, they are expected to prepare many gifts and red envelopes for the woman, but most blind dates end in failure, making them not only waste money but also a lot of time. This causes their confidence to plummet, and they feel increasingly inferior. This is why many young men are unwilling to go on blind dates, fear marriage, or even develop a sense of fear about it. Especially when they see such a high divorce rate around them, many people not only lose their money after a divorce but even lose their spouse. After experiencing these setbacks, young men are afraid to go through another failed marriage. After failing at blind dates once, twice, or even 4 times, they lose faith in marriage and start thinking, will we just stay single like this? But in reality, things are not that absolute. Recently, I've noticed that more and more young men are starting to look overseas, towards countries like Vietnam, Bangladesh, and other poor rural areas. The women in these areas live under harsh conditions.
Do you see what I'm telling you? And yeah, so a lot of these men are now looking, guys, the men in China are now becoming passport kings. They're becoming passport kings. And of course, the women in China are going to turn around and say the same thing like the black women in America. When black men began leaving, oh, you're just going over there to do bad things in these countries, and oh, these women don't love you. You're gonna end up being deleted over there. This is the same type of garbage that these women are gonna do to the men in China. And let me explain something about the red envelopes, because what's happening now is women in China are demanding red envelopes on dates. So in China, red envelopes known as Hongboa are not typically given on a casual date historically. Traditionally, red envelopes were primarily associated with special occasions like Chinese New Year, given by elders to children and unmarried adults as blessings, weddings, guests would give red envelopes to the newlyweds as a gift, birthday parties given to the birthday person as a token of good wishes. And in terms of a dating context, historically, giving a red envelope on a first or casual date would likely be considered unusual. It might make the other person uncomfortable or feel pressured, or materialistic. It could be interpreted as an attempt to buy affection. That's how red envelopes used to be viewed. You would not give a person a red envelope on a first date. Now, women in China are demanding red envelopes on a first date, that the man give them a envelope filled with money on the first date. Guys, that's an evening delight, all right, without the payoff. So basically, you're paying for an evening delight, except you don't get any delight at the end of the evening from her. What a joke. What an absolute sad and pathetic joke that we have here, that we are living in. This society is, guys, our society is so damn sad. It is so damn sad, and modern women are responsible. They have orchestrated this entire thing. And I'm telling you right now, can't stop, won't stop. They are never going to stop. They are going to keep the garbage going. That's why you need to focus on your money, not on dating, not relationships. Learn crypto, learn how to buy it, sell it, and trade it. Guys, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Crypto Trading for Dummies blueprint. With this blueprint, you'll learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small. Imagine making $30 a day with $100 or even hundreds daily trading small amounts. Working just an hour a day. It's written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. With banks collapsing and the economy in chaos, this skill is your lifeline. Click the link in the description to check it out now. And I mean, guys, here's what's really cool about that. We actually have a special going over in the Academy right now. You can actually head over to Angus Crypto Academy, link description of the video, and you can actually get everything. You can actually get a great deal on an annual membership or on a bootcamp membership, and that includes the crypto blueprint. And yeah, that one is actually 30% off right now. So you can go ahead and check that out. This is one of the best times to get it. That actually that actually just that ends very, very soon. You only have a small amount of time if you want to get that discount. But I'm just telling you guys, instead of playing with women, you should be playing with crypto. All right, you should be playing with crypto, trading crypto, having fun with crypto. There's a lot of things that we started out with crypto kitties years ago. Now we have full blown games where you can actually earn money playing games. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but there are actual crypto games now where you can earn crypto playing games. You can make a living playing crypto games. It's very, very important for you to learn how to do this, and because it's going to help you, it's going to enrich your lives, it's going to make your life better. But you have to want it, and you have to and you have to be willing to work for it. I don't know, guys. This is just how things have changed. Times have changed, but you have to change and you have to adapt. And modern women, they're going to find themselves in extraordinary states of poverty and destitution because of the horrible decisions that they have made going forward.
Many of them are very content to marry into a better environment. These young men bring these women back to China, and their lives are actually pretty good.
That's, guys, passport kings. Passport kings. I'm telling you, these women are cooked, and the Chinese government can't really do much about it other than banning men from bringing women back to the country, and either banning men from leaving China or banning men from bringing women back to China. Here's the problem. If these men leave the country and they can't bring their wives back to China, then what they're going to do is they just won't come back to China. So you'll have the men with all of the education, the men with the highest levels of education, the men who can actually make money, the men who have real skills going to other countries, finding wives in these countries, and then saying that I'm never going to come back. All right. It also dilutes China. China is a collectivist society. What's happening right now? You're having a bunch of mixed race people being born. All right. So they're no longer fully ethnically Chinese. But what does that do? It also changes the culture, which is something that China does not want. So now you're losing control of the people, the population, and you can't take care of all of these single women. And to make it matters worse, men are going to be working fewer hours, no longer working crazy hours to break their backs to provide for families that don't want them and don't like them, and for women who do not like them, don't want them, and instead they're just going to be focused on providing for themselves. Making money, saving their money, and enjoying their money, spending their money on themselves. Guys, I can buy anything I want right now. Like a little, unfortunately, I don't have as much time because I have to work. I have to basically produce like almost a mini documentary for you guys every single day. I don't know if like some of you guys pick up on it, others if you don't pick up on it, that I'm producing very long videos for you. Like there's only I have not I don't regular there's only some YouTubers that I see doing this. For example, Vara Dark beyond amazes me. This girl will put out like 3, 4 videos a day, and then on top of it, stream for like 3 or 4 hours. So like, but and I think she's definitely a Gen Zer, but she works really hard, and I respect her hard work. But it's not common. The average YouTuber can only drop like one video a day. I will shout out to Chow Time Podcast. He does drop like what is it? Is it like maybe 4 or 5 videos a day? It's a crazy number. It's a crazy number of videos. He was basically doing what I was doing, but I couldn't keep up with it. And I actually spoke to him once about it, like, "How the hell are you dropping this amount of content?" And he basically joked and said that he's Asian, so sweatshop labor is nothing new. The guy is funny. Guy's got jokes. Guy's gonna split it with a woman who does not even like me or children who will eventually resent me. Hell no. Especially guys, I didn't get to enjoy so much of my life. I had to give up my 20s and my 30s. I'm now in my 40s. No, it's about me. Now it's about enjoying having the things that I could not, that I could not enjoy when I was younger. And now it's about getting my money. It's about taking care of myself. It's about focusing on myself and making myself happy. The only thing I actually care about other than me is God. I care about God and that's it. And I think that's what more men are waking up and realizing is you don't need to give a damn about others. All you have to do is to care about God. God doesn't really want you giving too much of a God wants you caring about him. He doesn't want you falling in love with human beings and being disillusioned by human beings because human beings will always betray you and mislead and lead you down a horrible path. So you have to be focused and you have to be focused upon God. You have to be focused upon yourself, but you do not believe in human beings because human beings are tricky and beings are betrayers and there's a cultural awakening happening where more and more men are realizing the true nature of women and we don't want to talk about it. People are dealing with that type of person, all right, because they process instead of where men basically rationalize using facts. These other individuals rationalize using feelings, and wherever the wind blows their emotions will go. This is the reason why you can't really trust whatever they say because it's always coming through the filter of an emotional lens. And by the way, guys, shout out to the 1 hour gang. Shout out to the 1 hour gang. If you've been listening for all this time, shout out to you. Give yourself a pat on the back. I know it's been a little while since we got to this point, but shout out to the 1 hour gang. Shout out to the 1 hour gang in the comments. You know who you are if you made it to this point.
Though these countries have poor living conditions, the women there have lower expectations and are often more satisfied with a better life after they come to China. These women usually do not have high standards and are not picky about a man's appearance, education, or physical build. However, if you still cling to the idea of, I want to find a beautiful, well-built, highly educated, and outstanding woman, you may find that you don't have enough ability to handle such a woman. After all, the ultimate goal of marriage is to live together, not just for appearance, education, and body shape. If you are not good enough yourself, it may be very difficult for you to attract women with high standards. On the other hand, if you have enough capability, you can find a suitable partner locally. So, what I want to tell everyone is that if you can find a suitable woman locally, one who is willing to live a stable life with you, then cherish her. If you really can't find one, then consider looking beyond your local area. Time waits for no one, and the years are passing by. It's already 2025, and we're growing older every day. Our parents are getting older, and they've been worrying about our future for a long time. Their health is no longer as good as it used to be, and they are often concerned about us. We should think about our own future and our parents' future.
After watching the news about the high-end matchmaking event in Wuhan, I have a lot of thoughts. There were 800 women attending, but not a single man showed up. This reminded me of a question I once asked a friend. I asked her, why doesn't your matchmaking company try to organize a large-scale matchmaking event? In this way, single men and women could meet more potential partners, and the options would be more abundant, making it easier to find a suitable match, right? She told me that she had actually tried organizing such events several times before, but the results were far from expected. In fact, it turned out to be much less efficient than one-on-one matchmaking. The reason is that when people are faced with more options, many of them get confused and don't know how to make a judgment, ultimately failing to find a suitable partner. You see, when organizing a matchmaking event, whether it's for men or women, people naturally focus on the more outstanding individuals. Men usually pay attention to those few particularly beautiful and attractive women, and women often focus on the tall, well-conditioned, and charming men. Even if you invite a large number of people to the event, the competition inevitably centers around those few exceptional individuals, and the others get ignored or excluded. This is one of the main reasons why the success rate of larger matchmaking events tends to be lower. These days, many people feel that finding a partner has become more and more difficult, And one key reason for this is that our options have been drastically expanded. In the past, people's choices were often limited to a smaller circle, so it was easier to find a relatively suitable partner. But now, when the choices are so wide, everyone can meet more potential partners, even from distant places through social media and matchmaking platforms. This actually leads people to feel lost because with too many choices, it becomes increasingly difficult to make decisions. Especially for women, they tend to get lost in the sea of options, losing their original standards and goals. As a result, their requirements tend to become higher and higher, and in the end, they still struggle to find a partner. If it were you, would you want to attend a large-scale matchmaking event? Feel free to share your
I mean, guys, I gotta say, China Unvarnished, they are doing such amazing work. They are basically producing documentaries every single day. This is, well, not every single day, but on a regular basis. Me, on the other hand, I have to do this crap every day. I gotta do this crap every day, but I am fortunate. It's hard work. It's hard work, like dropping this amount of content for you, let alone trying to do 2 or 3 of these videos every day. But it's absolutely it's rewarding in the sense that my money is my money. I'm my own boss, and I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I don't want any of those, and I just want to live a comfortable life until the end of my days, and being able to share my opinions. And then that's when it's over. It's over. And I think that's what most men are finding right now. That happy life, no wife. They used to go happy life, happy wife, happy life. No happy, happy, no happy life, no wife. In other words, you will have a happy life when you do not have a wife. And of course, there are the Sims who are going to say you are not if you don't pass on your genetic legacy, that you failed at life. You have no purpose. You are of no value to humanity. And that's how these men are. These men will come into the world, and they believe that it does not matter if you bring children into a world that you cannot afford. Just you've achieved something by simply leaving children on the earth. It doesn't matter if your children suffer. It doesn't matter what happens to your children. You've done your part into ensuring that you leave a genetic legacy. And that's all that matters. You have to be a real selfish and evil and awful person to do something like that. I saw a really great comment from someone in my comment section who said that he said something along the lines of that he loves his kids so much that he won't bring them into this world. And I think that's one of the greatest things that you can do for your children, is to not bring them into this world. The greatest thing that a man can do for his kids is not to bring them into the world. Not a world like this. Okay? Not into a world where you can't take care of your kids, where you cannot provide for your kids, let alone take care of yourself, and you're in a relationship with someone who absolutely despises you. When you're in a relationship with someone who despises you, your kids are going to see it, and they're going to not it's going to make it much more difficult for them to ever respect you. This is why, as men, it's so important for us to walk away as quickly as we can from these toxic relationships, from these toxic individuals, from a society that doesn't like us. Of course, the Sims are going to talk crap as we leave. They never liked us in the first place, and they're littered throughout the manosphere. They're on the channel. They're leaving garbage comments on my videos. Why are all of these Sims watching my videos? It's very simple, because these Sim channels are downright path to destruction. They come and listen to Uncle Angry, even though they want to run their mouths and talk crap to Uncle Angry. They're still here because they have nowhere else to go. Because when they go over to these other content creators, it's just a lot of garbage about, telling men that they're awful, telling men this and this and this. I don't tell you, I'm not going to hate on you because of your skin color, or because of what you look like, or because you're a man. I'm not going to tell you, and I'm going to basically try to pick you up as a human being. I'm not going to tell you that that you need to sacrifice yourself, but then you go to the Sim channels on YouTube and they're telling you that you need to sacrifice. You need to give your money to women. You need to do all of these things. And and you were born with a silver spoon, and eventually you can't stand yourself, and you don't like yourself, and it's hard to even look in the mirror. So even the Sims don't want to listen to that all of the time. So they come to Uncle Angry, but they come to Uncle Angry, and then they start running their Sim mouths, even though they don't want to go over to Destiny and go to all these other content creators that are going to make them, despise themselves as more than they already do. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much that's really it. But and so it's no shock and it's no surprise why 100% of men are refusing to date and marry women. This was not a clickbait title. It was not a clickbait title. We literally had almost 1,000 women that were rejected by every man. Every single man rejected these women. Every single man. Almost 1,000 women were rejected by every single man. What do you think that's going to look like, guys? You're going to have lots of women in extraordinary states of poverty and destitution, living in the woods, living in shelters, living in the streets, living in their cars, living in the woods, hanging out with Yogi and Boo Boo. It's not going to be easy. And when the state doesn't help women, because that's what's coming. Elon's in there, he's cutting things, and Project 2025 has not even gotten started yet. Guys, y'all realize that Project 2025 has not even gotten started yet? When everything goes to hell and women do not know how to survive or where to turn or who to turn to, what they're going to do is turn to men and say, "Men, help," and men are going to whisper, "No." I told you, I said it already. God allowed women to reach the highest mountains so they can fall from the highest peak. Okay? If there's one thing that God loves to destroy, it's false idols. And what modern women have done is that they've took the V, they dipped it in gold, and they put it on a pedestal. And we know exactly what happened with the golden calf. Just like God destroyed the golden calf, he's going to destroy the golden V. And these people are going to find themselves basically just like the people who did the whole golden calf thing found themselves wandering in the desert for 40 years. These modern women, they're going to find themselves out in the wilderness. And it's not something that's going to change for decades. Like, there's no coming back. I had a friend, Cassie. We used to talk about this type of stuff. She used to be on YouTube, but there were all kinds of people coming after her. I'm one of the few people that survived. A lot of YouTubers didn't make it. A lot of content creators did not make it. They couldn't. They tried to. They didn't make it. Like they're not around anymore from the old days. I'm among the last of the Mohegans. There's a few still around, but a lot of the guys that were making content back when I first started out, they're no longer here. I'm one of the OGs of the MGTOW community. I've been making content for over 10 years, but I've been a part of MGTOW for much longer than that. I'm one of the very first content creators, like big mainstream content creators in the MGTOW community, and I helped to establish what MGTOW was. But and I'm not an MGTOW, not anymore. I'm a man walking away. But as you can see, MGTOW has taken off so much now that no matter where you go, people know what MGTOW is, and more men are now choosing to not just walk away, but to go their own way and completely distance themselves from society and relationships, because it doesn't make any sense anymore. There's nothing for them to gain from having relationships with people who do not like them. Absolutely not. Instead, guys, people are focusing on making money, and you guys, here's the thing. With crypto, you can achieve your financial freedom. You achieve financial freedom. You can build security. You can live simply yet comfortably. You can take control of your future. That's why I keep on lecturing y'all about crypto. All right. And that's why I keep telling y'all to go and check out the crypto trading blueprint over in Angry's Crypto Academy, because with the blueprint, you're going to learn how crypto day trading can help you earn daily profits, even starting small, even with $30 a day, even making $30 a day with just $100, trading $100 or even hundreds daily, trading small amounts. So trading $500, make $100, $200 a day, and working just an hour a day. And the blueprint is written so simply that even a fifth grader can do it. And with banks that are going to be collapsing and the economy in chaos, guys, this skill is going to be your lifeline. Check out the Crypto Academy. Check out the crypto day trading blueprint. Available, link in the description. It's available in Angry's Crypto Academy. So when you sign up for the academy as part of our bootcamp membership, you'll get access to the crypto trading blueprint, and that's linked in the description. But you guys need to start getting on your business. You need to get on your business. You get on your money. You should not be worrying about women, even thinking about women, because they are not thinking about you. They don't care about you, guys. These people, they don't like you. They literally, these people literally do not like you. They don't care about, they don't want you. They just want what you have. They want your attention, they want your time, they want your money, but they don't want you. We're dealing with people who do not have an SOUL. Okay? They don't have one of those, okay? They basically traded it for shiny. They traded for instant gratification in the present. All of these people that are on Only Fools and Lonely Fans, they're screwed because those platforms are going to be shut down come with Project 2025. Project 2025 has not even started yet. That's what people need to understand. All right. It has not even started yet. Right now, what we are witnessing right now is Agenda 47. Agenda 47, Agenda 47 is Trump's plan. That is something that Trump has instituted. So what he's doing right now is Agenda 47. Project 2025 is something that came around, I believe, in the 1970s. It is something that emerged from conservative think tanks going back to, I believe it was the 1970s. And now they've you know that this was a plan that they had that they wanted to institute, but they were never able to institute all of these policies. And now they saw an opportunity under Trump to implement all of these policies. And they built an entire organization around it. And now they branded it Project 2025, and Trump won. And he didn't just win win a little bit, he won a lot. He didn't just win the electoral vote, he also won the popular vote. Most people voted for Trump. There's no question about it anymore. All right? Not only did most people vote for Trump, he did something that no Republican has done since Franklin D. Roosevelt. Keep in mind, before Franklin D. Roosevelt, most Black people were actually Republicans. All right? And then after Franklin D. Roosevelt, the parties didn't change, but there were people who did change parties. This is how it's strange. So the values of the parties never change. Republicans have always been natural conservatives, and Democrats, we can see what the consequences are for now. Social consequences are for everyone in society. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, 100% of men are refusing to date and marry women. You see what's happening. Are you shocked? Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.